So we'll start in a few minutes once a few more participants join. Hope that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay, no problem. Let few more participants join. We'll give 2 or 3 minutes more, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
ഹലോ എന്തപ്പ കാര്യമില്ലേ?
Yes, the session will start by 4:05.
Good evening, Shankar sir.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Kasi sir. Thank you for.
So can we start?
Yeah, sure.
A very warm welcome to Professor Mohammad Qasim, respected dignitaries, and my fellow peers. An organization without the knowledge of its history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Bearing this in mind, the IEEE Kerala section and IEEE link as a part of Renaissance 2.0 present this talk on the history of IEEE by Professor Mohammed Qasim, Vice Chair of IEEE Kerala section. Engineers, scientists, and other technical professionals have long been members of IEEE. In addition to IEEE's Electrical and Electronics Engineering Core, they include computer scientists, software developers, information technology experts, physicists, medical doctors, and many others. As a result, the organization is no longer referred to by its entire name, except in official business papers, and is now just known as IEEE. The social roles of technologies under IEEE's umbrella continue to extend throughout the world and into more and more aspects of people's lives in the decades that followed. Through its global network of geographical units, publications, web services, and conferences, IEEE remains the world's largest technical professional organization. Now, I'd hand over the session to Qasim, sir, to articulate the history of IEEE. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, and greetings to all officials or volunteers of Kerala section, then participants of this session. The volunteers of Kerala section standing for the student branches. Now, I was assigned with the duty of briefing history of IEEE. And I am happy to do that, and I collected some information regarding the history of IEEE, and I would love to share with all of you. And as all of us know, IEEE is the world's largest technical professional organization. You can see that the logo of the IEEE itself is stating that advancing technology for humanity. So it is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. IEEE, and when we refer the IEEE website, we can see that IEEE and its members inspire a global community through its highly cited publications, conferences, technology standards, professional and educational activities. So here 5 things are briefed. One is the publications, cited publications. So currently we have IEEE publications in the name of transactions, magazines, and journals, in addition to the publications available in IEEE Explore. And that details I will be sharing in due course. So the publications actually contribute to this largest professional organization. Its publication is very valued publications. Then the second is the conferences. IEEE is organizing international conferences, more than 1,600 international conferences every year. And so in the tune of 100,000 technical papers are presented, even more than that technical papers are presented, and that are available in what is called recently the digital platform, which is known as the IEEE Explore. That also we are coming. Then the standards, that is the technical standards. It is having enormous 1,600 standards and nearly 1,000 standards in preparation. So its standards, international standards, it is the most significant thing, and that is standard decides the design of equipments, the design of construction things, that is even substations or generating stations or power stations, any construction activities are related to the products. So it is very important to have technology standards. Then we do have the professional and educational activities. So this is regarding this definition of IEEE. And IEEE, as you can see, that is the world's largest technical professional organization dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. IEEE and its members inspire a global community through its highly cited publications, conferences, technology standards, and professional and educational activities. Now, when we go to the history of IEEE, you can see that this has the root of, it goes back to 1884, starting with the formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers. Next slide, please. And so, this formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers in 1884, that was the significance of 1884. And even before that, we can see that IEEE, an association dedicated to advancing innovation and technological excellence for the benefit of humanity, just brief in the previous slide, is the world's largest technical professional organized society. And it is designed to serve professionals involved in all aspects of electrical, electronic, and computer fields and related areas of science and technology that underlie modern civilization. And in 1980s and that period, 1884, IEEE, the founder, one of the founder organization is the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. Then, as we can see, the Institute of Radio Engineers, which was formed in 1912, and these two, with the development of electrical power scenario and the this telecommunication scenario, telegraph and telecommunication scenario, they merged together in 1963 to form what is known as the IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So this was the beginning of a technological revolution. And as you can see that IEEE's roots go back to 1884, when electricity began to become a major influence in society. There was one major established electrical industry, the telegraph, which since the 1840s had come to connect the world with the data communications system faster than the speed of transportation. The telephone and electric power and light industries had just gotten underway. So that is the year 1840. We can see that the telephone industry came in growth, electric power came in growth, and light industries also come underway. So these are the main factors affected the influence the formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers. Next slide. And beginning, we have to go back to the societies in United States starting from 1852 to 1912. And the first society formed in United States was the American Society of Civil Engineers in 1852. The second one, American Institute of Mining Engineers in 1871. The third one, American Society of Mechanical Engineers in 1880. The fourth one, that is the American Institute of Electrical Engineers. And this, out of the four, that is the American Society of Civil Engineers, American Institute of Mining Engineers, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which was formed in 1884. And the formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers, there was another background. In 1881, there was an international electrical exhibition conducted in Paris. And the people all over the world gathered there. There is engineers, professionals, and industrialists gathered there to present their products as well as to learn more and more from this exhibition. And this exhibition really paved a way to have another exhibition in America, and that exhibition was held in 1884 in Philadelphia, that you can see in the next slide. So with the formation of these four, so this and with the exhibition in Philadelphia, United States in 1884, they had a 2 days international conference on electrical engineering or power engineering on October 7 and 8. And at the end of this 2-day conference, this members of this organization, that is the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which was formed in 1884 April. So this society was formed in April 1884, and they organized the electrical exhibition in October in Philadelphia, and they organized a two days international conference also as part of this exhibition. And at the end of the exhibition, the members of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers had a first meeting of the members as part of this 2 days international conference. And in commemoration of the first meeting of the members of American Institute of Electrical Engineers in Philadelphia in October 7 and 8, IEEE began to celebrate IEEE Day celebration. Now we know IEEE Day celebrations. And the first IEEE Day celebration was organized in 2010 October. And from that October onwards, IEEE is celebrating IEEE Day worldwide on all every year in October, and now that is specified on the second Tuesday of October. And this IEEE Day celebration is in commemoration of this first meeting of the members of American Institute of Electrical Engineers. So that was the significance. And after forming these societies, 4 societies, and one gentleman, Mr. Andrew Carnage, he funded enormously for a building and library of these societies. And this United Engineering Society was the merger of 3 American societies. That is the American Institute of Mining Engineers, then American Society of Mechanical Engineers, and American Institute of Electrical Engineers in 1904. And when these 3 societies are merged in 1904 to form what is known as the United Engineering Society, then a man, the name Andrew Carnegie, he funded enormously to build a building and library for this United Engineering Society. And with the help of his funding, the Engineering Society is building at 29 West 39th Street in New York City. The first such home was completed in 1906 and was followed by the United Engineering Center in 1960. So until 1960, all the offices were functioning in that building, which was completed in 1906. Then 1960, they had another building dedicated for this United Engineering Center, and that is at another location. And this by 1998, all these societies, that is the American Society of Civil Engineers, then the Institute of Mining Engineers, Society of Mechanical Engineers, IEEE, and this one, that is the American Institute of Chemical Engineers, which was formed. You can see that this American Institute of Chemical Engineers was formed in 1908, and in 1912 the Institute of Radio Engineers. So these 2, and these are the 6 society chapters formed between 1852 and 1912 in United States. And this American Society of Civil Engineers joined the United Engineering Society in 1910. So United Engineering Society was the merger of 4 American societies. That is the American Society of Civil Engineers, the American Institute of Mining Engineers, American Society of Mechanical Engineers, American Institute of Electrical Engineers. These 3 merged to form the United Engineering Society. And later in 1910, American Society of Civil Engineers also joined to this United Engineering Society. And 1908, American Institute of Chemical Engineers was established, and in 1912, the Institute of Radio Engineers was also established. And so these are the major organizations in America during this period, 1852 to 1912. And by 1998, these societies moved to their own independent buildings. That is the civil engineers, American, then Institute of Mining Engineers, Mechanical Engineers, Electrical. IEEE was formed in, as we all of us know, 1963, the merger of American Institute of Electrical Engineers and the Institute of Radio Engineers in 1963. 1st January 1963, IEEE was formed, or the formation of IEEE. So IEEE it is a merger of two organizations. So IEEE and this chemical engineer, they all of these units are having their own buildings by 1998. So this is the back history of our society chapters and IEEE in those days. Next slide. Okay. Formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers and first technical meeting that I just briefed. And as you can see that as part of the landmark international electrical exhibition organized by the Franklin Institute and held in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania in 1884. The American Institute of Electrical Engineers, a predecessor of IEEE, held its first conference on 7 to 8 October 1884. And as I said, the signing of this American Institute of Electrical Engineers was happened on 11 April 1884. So the American Institute of Electrical Engineers was formed on 11 April 1884 with Edison, then Thomas Alva as its members, and then the first conference was on 7 to 8 October 1884 as part of the international exhibition held in Philadelphia. And the first meeting of the members, as I said, they had with this conference, and in memory of the first meeting, we are celebrating IEEE Day all over the world in October every year October, and the day is the second Tuesday of October every year since 2010. So now we are going to celebrate the 12th IEEE Day celebrations all over the world in coming October. Okay. So this is a brief of American Institute of Electrical Engineers. Then comes the Institute of Radio Engineers. And Institute of Radio Engineers actually, next slide. It is also the merger of two international organizations, and they are the Society of Wireless Telegraph Engineers, which was formed in 1907 by John Stone. And the second one, that is the Wireless Institute, established in New York in 1908 by Robert Marriott. So these two organizations, the Society of Wireless Telegraph Engineers, which was formed in 1907 in Boston by John Stone, and the Wireless Institute, established in New York in 1908 by Robert Marriott. These two institutions form or merge together to form what is known as the Institute of Radio Engineers. And you can see that there is no word American in this society. It is the Institute of Radio Engineers, and they didn't use the word American here. And because as you can see that the radio engineers felt that instantaneous communication over the airwaves, and knew no national boundaries, and would help bring the world together. So this is the reason for not putting or adding any word as part of the organization. That is, a word American was not added to this Institute of Radio Engineers, which was formed in 1912 by the merger of this Society of Wireless Telegraph Engineers and this Wireless Institute in 1912. And the founder president was Robert H. Marriott, the man behind this Wireless Institute. And John Stone also became the president of IRE later. Okay. This person is the founder president of IRE. That is the Robert H. Marriott. He was the man behind the Wireless Institute, and he established the Wireless Institute, and he became the first president of IRE. And so these two organizations, that is the American Institute of Electrical Engineers, formed in 1884, and the second one is this the Institute of Radio Engineers, formed in 1912. These two merged and formed IEEE. And now we can see the growth of American Institute of Electrical Engineers and IRE in the next two slides. And please, next slide. The growth of American Institute of Electrical Engineers and IRE. And you can see that radio had proved its worth as a point-to-point telecommunication system with the sinking of the Titanic that all of us know, and then during World War I also. So the radio communication was very significant in this period. And in 1920s and 30s, radio grew rapidly as a commercial and consumer industry. So during the time of World War I, it was mainly used for military applications. But by the end of 1920s and 1930s, radio became a commercial and a consumer industry. That is, people are buying this radio for their domestic purposes, and we were keeping, or the people were keeping. And in the olden days, we were having radios with this diode, triode, that is the vacuum tubes. So I remember that is in my childhood days when I was studying in 5 and 6. In my uncle's house there was a radio. So we had to switch on and wait for some time. That is to get the vacuum tubes to get charged. Then maybe it will take 1 minute, nearly 1 minute to get charged, and we are receiving the radio signals and the audio output from the radio. So at that time, these vacuum diodes and triodes, vacuum tubes are using, and the whole thing was a big unit. So it was like that. And so the commercial industry, radio was took over by the commercial industry. Even it was used in the military applications. Then in World War II, you can see that it showed the electrical engineering was going to be the technology for the future. So it was very important that without electricity or without electrical energy, we cannot do anything. And so they realized during the World War II that electrical engineering is going to be the technology of the future. And here, American Institute of Electrical Engineering was centralized, and there they have the board of directors and its committees keeping most of the power, whereas the Institute of Radio Engineers was decentralized. And because radio technology was changing so rapidly that it could not be coordinated from the top. So as mentioned, IRE established the professional group system in 1948. And at that time, it included 2 groups. And by 1961, the system expanded to 29 groups. So 29 societies were formed in IRE. And by 1960, next slide. And by 1960, the American Institute of Electrical Engineering started with 2 groups, has moved to 50. So it grows. You can see the publications. The IEEE Technical Committee, which began with 2 subcommittees in 1902 and grew to 50 by 1962, had sole charge of accepting or rejecting papers for presentation at regional or technical conferences. It was this material that was published in American Institute of Electrical Engineers transactions. So the paper presented in these conferences or this what is known as the regional or technical conferences were published in American Institute of Electrical Engineers transactions. And they were having only 2 committees in 1902, but grew to 50 by 1962. And similarly, IRE was having only 1 publication, that is the proceedings of IRE. Then it moved to nearly 29 societies. And to spell out something, some societies, you can see that 29 societies including aerospace and navigation, then antennas and propagation, automatic control, biomedical electronics, circuit theory, communication systems, education, electron devices, geoscience electronics, industrial electronics, information theory, instrumentation, microwave theory and techniques, nuclear, and so on. So these are few societies of the 29. So you can see that currently by this time they've had the feeling that these 2 has to be joined, merged together for the growth of both. And we know that these 2 organizations, these two, by that time, it was not for America, it was for global. And by 1962, this organization had the feeling that it should be merged together to make or to become a bigger organization. And these two merged in 1st January 1963 to become the largest technical professional organization. So that was on 1st January 1963. Next slide. So this is the thing. You can see that is Ernest Weber. He was the founder president of IEEE, and he was the former president of IRE. So by merging IEEE and IRE in 1st January 1963, the IEEE was officially formed, and the first president of IEEE was Ernest Weber. And so that is the beginning of IEEE. And at that time, the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So 1963. And for your information, in 1980s, okay, this IEEE was admitting professionals in the areas of electrical, electronics, computer science, and information technology and related fields only. Professionals as well as students. Then by 2000, policy was changing, and they begin to admit all professional in the field of engineering. That means a civil engineer can join IEEE, a mechanical, already it is there, mechanical, electrical, electronics, computer, IT, chemical, biomedical, any stream of engineering, professionals as well as students can join IEEE. Then physics students or faculties, then math students or faculties, law students or faculties, then MBA or even doctors can join IEEE. So this is the present scenario. Next slide. And growth of IEEE after its formation. And you can see I have just highlighted few of the developments. In now, as we know, IEEE was formed in 1st January 1963. And in September 1964, the Executive Committee combined the AIEE's Technical Operation Committee. At that time, it was the Technical Operation Committee for AIEE. And the IRE's groups organization. IRE was termed as IRE's groups organization. So these two to form the Technical Activities Board. So TAB, Technical Activities Board, assumed TOCs, that is the Technical Operation Committees, 6 general committees, including standards. In addition, TOC had 6 technical divisions with 69 technical committees. And there are 320 subcommittees. Again, TAB had the status of a board which gave it authority. So this is regarding the Technical Activities Board. Technical Activities Board is controlling all the technical activities as well as the societies, the functioning, the working of all the societies and society chapters all are controlled by this Technical Activities Board. And next is we are having the Educational Activities Board in 1967, IEEE established the Educational Activities Board, and that was another major board or this division of IEEE, that is the Educational Activities, and it is having an Educational Activities Board of its own. And in the next year, that is in 1968, the Regional Activities Board, to give the geographic representation. Regional Activities Board means now IEEE is a world's largest technical professional organization. So it is not limited to America, it is spread all over the world. So they formed the Regional Activities Board, giving the regional representations. And at that time, the region 1 to 10 was developed. And as we can see in a later slide, the region 1 to 6 was in United States itself. and 7 and 8 in North America and South America. And the rest of the world was given the region 9 and region 10. And region 10, Asia Pacific countries comes under region 10. And all the regions are having its directors, region 10 director, region 1 director, 2 director, 3 director. Similarly, so these directors are, it is the administrative bodies there. So that all we can see in the coming slides. So these are the main 3 boards constituted in 64, 67, 68. So they are, the first board was the Technical Activities Board, the second one is the Educational Activities Board, and the third one the Regional Activities Board. And this Regional Activities Board later was changed to the Member and Geographic Activities Board, MGA Board. Now there is no more Regional Activities Board existing in IEEE. The Regional Activities Board was renamed as the Member and Geographic Activities Board. So MGA is functioning, or it is having the operational manual of all the organizational units of IEEE. And when we come to the organizational units, we can see that the India, it is divided into 10 regions. Then regions are subdivided into areas, then again to councils and to sections, then to subsections, then to chapters, then to affinity groups, then to student branches, then to student branch chapters. So these are all OUs. That is, OUs means if you give a petition to form an unit, then it is called an OU. So India Council is an OU. Similarly, Kerala Section is another OU. And now we are having too many society chapters. So these society chapters are another set of organizational units. OU means it is organizational units. Then affinity groups are also formed by petition. So they are also organizational units. Then this council, RFID council chapter, RFID council chapter, we are having on council chapter also, that is also an OU. Affinity groups, we are having consultants network, then life member affinity group, then women in engineering affinity group, then young professionals affinity group. So these are all OUs, organizational units. So to form an organizational unit, we have to give petition for that. And there are criterions for that also. How to form this organization? So a member has to give the application for that, and sufficient number of members has to be there to form that particular OU, and so on. Some criteria for forming an OU, etc. It is there. Just like forming a student branch means you should have 12 student members and 2 faculty members in that college to form a new student branch, IEEE student branch. So this is regarding this thing. So the Technical Activities Board controls all the activities of the technical activities. Then educational activities, it is a separate board, and it is conducting all the educational promotions and so on. And this Regional Activities Board later become Member and Geographic Activities. It is controlling all the OUs, and in the sense it is giving the guidelines to the functioning of all OUs. So we do have what is known as an MGA operational manual. MGA operational manual clearly gives the details of all the functions of the OUs of IEEE. And there are IEEE rules and bylaws governing this operation of OUs and the structure of OU and IEEE, etc., etc., etc. So any student branch or any OU has to function under IEEE rules and bylaws. It has to obey the rules and bylaws, and it has to follow the guidelines issued by the Member and Geographic MGA operation manuals and the Technical Activity Board's manual. So Technical Activity is having its own manual, and similarly this MGA, Member and Geographic Activities MGA operation manual is there, and this operation manual is there giving more details about the student branch operation and the responsibilities of the student officers, the SAC chair, and the whole OUs they are giving outlining, and so we can have any doubt, you can refer to the operation manual, which is available in PDF in Google. If you search in Google, you will get it, or you can, if you search IEEE.org also, we can get the PDF file of this operation manuals after login. Okay, so there was one stream. So the formation of 3 main boards in IEEE in 1964, 67, and 68. Then in 1969, the prestigious IEEE Spectrum was published, the flagship publication to social and economic material. The board of directors opened IEEE Spectrum. So before, every member of IEEE was receiving what is known as the IEEE Spectrum. It's a magazine. And recently they limited to professional members only, free copies to professional members. And if you need a copy of the students need a copy of IEEE. In 1980s and 1990s, IEEE was giving Spectrum to each and every member of IEEE. Now, because of the production cost and the membership cost and things, it is limited to the professional members, the printed copy too. Again, there are 2 types of members. One is the traditional member, and the second one is the electronic member. And for electronic members, the membership fee is less compared to traditional members, and now they are giving this Spectrum to only traditional members. So that is so the prestigious, the flagship publication of IEEE, the Spectrum is established, or it is given in developed in or printed or given in 1969. And in 1970, the board of directors approved the formation of technical societies. So by 1970, the technical societies emerged, and beginning with power engineering, then computer, electronic control societies, etc. And currently, as all of us know, we have 39 technical societies in IEEE. So the beginning, it was the power engineering, then the computer and electronic controls. These were the societies, and this power engineering was now renamed to Power and Energy Society. The computer was Computer Science Society. Electronic controls, it was divided into different electronic device circuit and so on, electronic communication society and so on. So different types of societies, and currently we have 39 societies in IEEE. And by 1977, a section of IEEE Spectrum devoted to IEEE news was separated from the magazine and became a newsletter type publication for members called the Institute. So the Institute was also given to the traditional members now. Previously, it was given to all members, and by now it is given to only the traditional members. And in 1977, the edition of the launch of Institute was also happened. So this is regarding the prestigious flagship publication, the Spectrum, and which was in 1969, and then in 1977 the institute was also formed. Next slide, please. And this 1972, the board proposed an amendment that kept scientific and technical interest as the first purpose, and then it added the professional interest also. That was in 1972. That's all administrative things. And 1973, they formed what is called the IEEE Foundation, a very strong unit, and that is for the administrative purpose, and this helped the development of IEEE, which was formed in 1973. And in 1884, as we know, the route goes to 1884, that is the formation of American Institute of Electrical Engineers, and IRE in 1912, but the route is with regard to American Institute of Electrical Engineers, which was formed in 1884. When these two merged, then 1994 became the century of the centennial celebrations. It was taking place of IEEE, and as part of that, numerous IEEE articles and publications were developed, and 6 books and booklets were published from the scholarly, The Making of a Profession, A Century of Electrical Engineering America to the Popular Engineers and Electronics. Then A Century of Electrical Progress by IEEE fellow and long-time volunteer John Ryder, and Donald Fink, as well as the Hewlett-Packard Foundation Fund illustrated history titled A Century of Electricals, a brief history of the electrical engineers from 1884 to 1984. So these were the publications as part of the centennial celebrations of IEEE. IEEE in the sense that founder unit. And engineers written by the IEEE Center for the History of Electrical Engineering. Later, the IEEE History Center. So, a number of publications were released as part of this 100th year of IEEE. Next slide. So you can see that it is the opening of the IEEE Asia Pacific Operations Center on 22nd April 1993 by the then IEEE President Martha Sloan. You can see that photograph. It was the IEEE Arten Operations Center was at Singapore. So inauguration of Arten Operations Center at Singapore by the then IEEE President Martha Sloan. And you can see with her the Luchi Gandia, then Dr. Zuno Nakahara, there is the Arten president, he belongs to Japan, then Bill Hambingrather, Fanny Sue Benoy, and Don Bole. So these are the people present during the inauguration of the Arten, that is the Asia Pacific Operations Center at Singapore. And that was in 1993. And in 1997, you can see that 9 IEEE societies offered their publications online. So before that, it was only hard copies. So I still remember the TKM College of Engineering student branch and its library. It is named as the IEEE library, and it was attached to the room very near to the HOD's room. And I was a faculty there. I was sitting in that room. So the library was attached there. And I joined IEEE in 1986 as part of the chapter formation, the student branch formation at TKM College of Engineering. Then I was asked to, or I was given the charge of the student branch in 1988. For 86 and 86, our HOD professor, late N.K. Rajagopal, he was the counselor. Then Professor P.H. Lebba was the principal, and our Rajagopal sir convinced, and Professor Lebba also was a faculty of electrical department. He was given the principal charge, or he became the principal in 1977. So he readily get the permission from the management to get all the IEEE publications at that time. All the IEEE publications means the transactions, magazines, and the journals of IEEE. And at that time, there were 75 publications altogether. And we made 3 racks of 5x5 with the teakwood. And on Professor late Maidin Putti, he was having a carpentry workshop attached to his house. And in teakwood, we made 3 units of 5x5 racks, and we were displaying all the IEEE publications in our IEEE library. And at that time, it was in 1988, 89, 90, so it continued. And it was really a very blissful moment for the faculties of electrical, electronics, and computer science at that time to have all the IEEE publications in TKM College of Engineering. So it was 75, and now that has risen to 150, more than double this in this nowadays. So we are having very near to 200 publications in the form of transactions, journals, and magazines now recently. Okay, so that was the time. So 9 societies offered publications online, means digital, and the platform was online periodicals and research area website. That same year, IEEE began accepting membership application via the internet. So means we can fill in the applications online. Internet means online from 1997, but it was not come into India. It was coming to India in 2010 or by that time, 2008 or 2010, that time only. So at the beginning, when the student badge was formed in TKM, that is in 1986. So our Kerala section officially formed in 1983. Before it was a subsection under India section. And India section became a council in 1975. And when India section became a India council, then a council cannot hold a subsection. Kerala was a subsection under India section. And when India section became a council, it cannot hold subsection. So our subsection was moved under Bangalore section. And we became an independent section in 1983. And this 1983, KPP Nambiar, the director of Keltron, he was the first chair of Kerala section. So a strong team was there in Trivandrum, and Keltron, all the people, engineers working in Keltron, they were added to IEEE, and people working at CET and so on. And I would like to remember on a great person at this point also, that is none other than Dr. KPP Pillai, that is Dr. KP Parmeshwaran Pillai. He joined IEEE 57 years back when he was working at College of Engineering Trivandrum as a faculty. So he's the most senior person living in Kerala, and he is the most senior IEEE member in Kerala. And when I took the senior most list of India, he is now in number 6 in India also, living persons. So he is the 6th senior most person. So above him in India, when we move to India, we can have 5 more persons having more than 57 years of membership in IEEE. He is having 57 years of membership in IEEE, and he was a recipient of gold medal at Kerala University. That was given by the Raja of Tamgur Kingdom. So they started the University of Kerala, and this gold medal for the first rank holder. And so he bagged the gold medal, and a very academician. And I had the experience of hearing his sharing of my IEEE experience when I organized Let Us Hear from IEEE Kerala, senior most IEEEans of Kerala section. He was the first person to speak on that. And he was telling his experience of publishing an article in IEEE at that time. And one more point, so it was a tremendous journey for him, and his experience also, it was very thrilling to us. And at that time, for publishing an article in an IEEE, the author has to give 3 sets of copies. And at that time, only typewriter was there. And he was telling the 3rd copy was not legible. When we take the printout using a typewriter, the 3rd copy was not legible. So he has to take the that typewriter copy 2 times to get 3 fair copies, and no mistake has to come. So very carefully they have to send. Now means computer word, you can go editing, and at that time it was not editing like that. So he took 3, managed to took by by some professionals are working on typewriters. So get 3 copies. Then he get a specialized cover from Wallaby. That is, Wallaby was a college stationery shop at Trivandrum near the Secretariat. Then they made a separate cover for him to enclose all this, and this was posted by airmail. And he was telling that at that time his salary was very small, to the tune of 100 rupees or something like that. And no, this paper sent. Then they reviewed it and give some comments, make some changes, alterations. So again he has to make these corrections, and again he has to send. And he was telling that I became bankrupt by sending these articles 2 times to New York by airmail. So that was an era called this hardships in publishing a paper in IEEE. So it was he also second time when he sent this, it was approved and it was published in IEEE transactions. Okay, so he's the great senior most man in Kerala section, and the Education Society of Kerala chapter recently honored him as part of the inauguration of the recently formed Education Society chapter on July 14th. So he's a great person, and he's the senior most of Kerala section, having 50 plus years of membership in 57, and that means he was a member starting from, if I am not wrong, 1965 at the beginning of IEEE. 65 means you can have 36 years, including 1965. So remaining 35 years, so 36 years plus this 21, so 57 years. So he started his journey in IEEE in the year 1965. So IEEE was formed in 1963. He joined IEEE in 1965, and he is still keeping his membership, and he is a life senior member of IEEE. So that is regarding our seniority or senior member in Kerala section. Next slide. And one more point. The jewel in the crown of IEEE's digital publishing effort would come in 2000 when it launched IEEE Explore. So this is a platform that we are getting now easy access for every person. They can see the abstract, any abstract, and members based on their membership features, they can access some articles from IEEE, and now BSSE people 100% free access to all IEEE publications to BSSE people, and similarly some colleges are buying this digital publication through IEEE Explore, and maybe limited to 2 users or maybe limited to 10 users, like that. So there are various options to purchase this IEEE Digital Explore also. So this changed the history, and it is having a lot of publications starting from 1935 onwards stored in this IEEE Digital Library. Next slide. So some quick facts. We have, as on yesterday, we have over 360,000 members on 60 countries. More than 60% of whom are outside United States. Initially, it was more from the United States and less members from outside. Now it is 60% of the members are from outside United States, and 1 lakh, more than 1,07,000 student members. And currently we have 342 sections in 10 geographic regions, that is R1 to R10, then 2615 chapters worldwide, and 3,543 student branches at colleges and universities in over 100 countries, and 3,085 student branch chapters of technical societies, and 742 affinity groups, and 1,132 students affinity groups. And students affinity groups means it is the women in engineering student affinity groups. No other affinity group is applicable for the students. IEEE affinity groups are non-technical subunits of 1 or more sections of or council. It can be of 1 section or more section or of a council. The affinity groups patent entities are the USA Consultants Network. We do have the Consultants Network. Then young professionals, we do have women in engineering, we do have life member, we do have, and one more is there, that is the IEEE entrepreneurship. And I think we are not aware of that, and we have to start an affinity group of IEEE entrepreneurship also soon. Next slide. So quick facts, another set of 39 technical societies as I have briefed. Then 5 million documents in IEEE Explore digital library with more than 15 million downloads each month. And any active portfolio of nearly 1,200 standards and more than 900 projects under development. So we have IEEE is having international, IEEE is an international standard. It is having nearly 1,200 standards in all the related fields and 900 under development. Then publishes approximately 200 transactions, journals and magazines. See, from 75 to nearly 200. And sponsors more than 1,600 conferences in 96 countries, while contributing over 3.6 million total conference papers to IEEE Explore since 1936, with as many as 2 lakh new papers added annually. So this is the recent facts of IEEE. Next slide. So organization of IEEE, the structure, it is a dual complementary regional and technical structure. One is the member and geographic organization, and the second one is the technical organization, technical activities board, and the regional, member and geographic activities. That two are the major. Then structure IEEE is organized into, as I said, it is the local sections within geographic regions. That is region 1 to 10 sections. Then chapters comprised of local members with similar technical interests. Chapters, society chapters it is. Then societies and technical councils that composed of technical divisions. Then student branches. Then student branch chapters and affinity groups. And the major boards in IEEE are, we have seen three before. That is the Education Activities Board. Then the Regional Activities Board, now renamed as Member and Geographic Activities Board, MGA. And the other one is the Technical Activities Board. And in addition to that, the IEEE USA Board is there. Then the Publication Services and Products Board is there. Then the Standards Association Boards. These are the 6 major boards of IEEE. So this is the organizational thing of IEEE. Next slide. Now you can see how this IEEE is divided into 10 regions. So you can see that region 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is in America, and 7 North America, and 8 is in the South America, and 9 the South Africa and Europe, and that those countries comes, Russia, etc. comes in region 9, the orange color, and region 10, the violet color, that is India and Asia Pacific countries comes. As on yesterday, the status of region 10 is we do have 10 regions and with 1,24,951 members. That means it is more than 30% of the whole IEEE. Whole IEEE is having 360,000 members plus, and we are having 124. So means it is more than 1/3. Nearly 35% of the IEEE members are from region 10. Then society members 70,477. We have 59 sections in region 10 and 40 subsections in 10 and 769 chapters, 109 affinity groups, and student branches 1,685 student branches, student affinity groups 476, and student branch chapters 1,463. So this is a status of R10, and this is a pictorial map showing the region-wise separation of IEEE. That is a member and geographic MGA, geographic activities or operational units. Next slide. Now this is the membership dues, and Asia Pacific for a traditional membership, the full year dues is $158, and for electronic membership it is $85. So members, they have to give this amount, and half year membership starts from 1st March. It goes up to August, say 10 or something like that. And you can see 50% of the membership dues are we have to, and this is only applicable for joining as a new member. This half year membership is applicable only while you join as a new member. And student member, the full year dues is $27 and the half year dues is $13.5. And because of the pandemic, IEEE decided to charge only $13.5 from students throughout the year. So this is the right time to get new members joining IEEE or get introduced to IEEE, because they do get more than 60 months of membership with just $13.5. So tell your student friends who are interested to join, or you pursue your student friends to join IEEE in August, so that helps to get them the maximum period of membership in IEEE. And when your friends join, student members joins, if your name and your membership number is added as a reference, you will get $2 per student added as a student member in the program member get a member program. And this $2 cumulated to any number, any amount, you can use it for IEEE membership renewal or purchase of IEEE products. There is a maximum slab is there, but that normally people will not reach to that. So if you, and this $13.5 is applicable for next year also. That is 2023 also, student membership dues is $13.5. There is no half year membership dues. Only throughout the year the membership dues is 13.5 2021 IEEE offered half-year membership dues only to student members. So the whole privilege is for student members. So please canvass your student members, your friends to join IEEE immediately. That is as early as possible, starting from today onwards. Okay. Now next slide. So this is the formation of the history of Kerala section. I briefed. It became a full section in the India Council was formed in 20 May 1976. Then the subsection from India Council is moved to Bangalore section, and we became a full section in 1983. And we have two subsection, one Malabar subsection and the second one, it is the Kochi subsection. We have 13 society chapters, one joint chapter, one technical council, 4 affinity groups, 80 plus active student branches, 220 plus student branch chapters, and 15 standing committees. And these slides I have seen at the beginning also. So please move to next. And this is the status on as on yesterday. So we have yesterday we have senior members listed as 257. And the fourth review was going on, and our count, senior member count increased to 266, but it is going to be added. 9 more members are added to our senior member category yesterday, and today's count is showing actually 266 as the senior amount. And we have 13 societies, and the number of student branch chapters and the membership count is shown on the bracket. So for all the things, and we have affinity groups, and the 3 societies, that is the computer society was formed as the first society in 1983. The second society formed was the industrial application, industrial electronics, power electronics society joint chapter in 1989, computer society in 1985, and this IEEE PLS society joint chapter in 1989, and the power and energy society in 1999. And now these 3 chapters are performing well, and they are 1, 2, and 3. PES is number 1, IEEE PLS joint chapter is number 2, and computer society is number 3. And computer society is reaching very close to 3,000. And as on yesterday, it was 2,966. So you can see these 3, and we do have some 12 other societies also. Then the affinity group, consultants network, life member, women in engineering and young professionals. Women in engineering with 5,600, and so it is 1,6 is that figure given is wrong. It is 5,627. 1 minute, I will tell you. Yeah, it is 5,627 members. That 16 extra is there. 5,627 members for the women in engineering, with the 71 student branch affinity group chapters all over Kerala. And this women in engineering is the most, it is rank 1 in world ranking with most the highest number of count. So that is it. Next slide. And MJ awards, we are bagging too many awards. We got section board 2015 3 awards, then 2019 another award, distinguished large section award. In 2020 the MJ outstanding large section award, and we are having one of our student branches getting the art and assembly student branch awards. Starting the list is gone for 16, 18, 19, and in 27 engineering colleges for the assembly student branch award. So the reference I took was from this ethw.org history of IEEE since 1984. So that's it, and I think the duration is almost over, and thank you all, and thank you very much. And if any queries, I can.
Thank you, sir. So let's get started with the interactive session. Audience, you can ask any queries you have in the chat box. Sir, until then, a few questions.
Yeah.
You have seen IEEE develop over the years. So what do you think is the most significant change that happened over the years?
Yeah, it is the online application to become a member. No, In 1980s and 1990s, it was very difficult. The first thing is we were having only hard copies of the application forms. So we have to fill all the details. Then we have to go to the bank where foreign currency is giving, or the bank, we do go to State Bank of India at that time. Then luckily I was having 2-3 friends of mine working there. I was a faculty at TKM College of Engineering, and so I do have 3 friends working at State Bank of India, Kollam main branch. So I have to give a request to the manager in return with copy of the application form as a proof that I am applying for this membership, IEEE professional membership. And the dues is at that time, I am exactly not remembering what was the dues at that time. Maybe something like exact. Now I am not remembering that. Then we have to sit there. We have to give the application, and because my friends are there, they will help me, and they will move this application, give to the manager, and he will sign it, and that is given to the section people. And so in 2-3 hours, I will get the dollar DD to IEEE New York. Okay, address to IEEE, that headquarters address. Then with the application, if normally we do take the DD for maybe 10, 12 or 15 applications together, we'll take on DD for all these applications, and then we will write a letter to IEEE that we are attaching DD for this amount for the below members, and we'll give the details of the members. Okay, then we safely pack the applications and the DD and the covering letter, and we go to this post office, and we have to send it registered air mail, and it normally takes 2 weeks to reach America. Then they have to process it, and we get a reply after maybe 2, 3 or 4 weeks after, because if you are having too many members, they will take more time. So to get a member activated at that time, it normally was taking 4 weeks minimum. And to get the approval of a student branch, it was taking nearly 2 months. So that was the beginning, the experience of IEEE, my IEEE experience at the beginning in the 1980s and 1990s. Then when the TKMC student branch was reactivated in 2008, and after that, once this not digital, that is online, as we have seen, they introduced that in 1997, but by 2008, 2005, 2008, this digital application was there, as well as the hard copy was there. Then we initially in 2008, we were going to bank again to get the DD and sending it by post. By now, when this India Operations Center came at Bangalore, and this IEEE made an arrangement to remit the amount in rupee payment, Indian rupee payment, to Bangalore office, and then it became very easy. And at that time also, when this was made easy, if you have the credit card, then we can pay the membership dues in dollars with the help of the credit card, and the membership get activated in 2008 also. Okay, so by 2008, 2010, the use of credit card was there, and I also purchased on credit card from State Bank of India, Kollam, for renewing my membership or for the payment of membership dues. I was using that initially, and so only that credit card were accepted, means that we can use the credit card for payment of IEEE dues. And so for the common people, it was very difficult to get the credit card and so on. So at that time also, this hard copies, filling the hard copies, taking the getting the DD check from the bank and sending to New York was going on. And this became very easy recently in 2-3 years back, once this India Operations Center started receiving the payment in Indian rupees. Previously it was the corporation bank, connected to India Operations Center at Bangalore. Now Corporation Bank is merged with the Union Bank, and now this year from March, April onwards, we were remitting the amount to Union Bank. And with the advancement of the technology, now we are operating all the bank accounts digitally with the mobile applications. Now it became very easy. That is, if you want to renew your membership or if you want to take a new membership, go online. Then if it is a new membership, you log in, means you create a username, password with your mail ID as the username and password your choice. Then fill the form application. Then either you print, if you are having a credit card, you can directly pay the dues and get the membership activated then itself. And if you are not having a credit card, you can take out, you can print out the challan format. That is a challan payment form, Indian rupees. And you can give it to the bank and remit the amount, and your membership is getting activated in 2 or 3 days, working days, 2 or 3 working days. Now, instead of going to mobile, this bank also, now we have the advantage of using the mobile application. That is, we can transfer this membership dues to the specified bank account. That is, now before it was Corporation Bank, now it is the Union Bank. So the account number, with each challan payment, the challan generated challan for our membership dues carries an account number. It is an alphanumeric codes, 20-digit alphanumeric codes. And the name of the beneficiary is IEEE. Beneficiary bank is the bank, now the Union Bank at Bangalore. Its code is also there in the challan. So name of beneficiary IEEE, beneficiary bank is Union Bank Bangalore, IFSC code is there. Then account number is the alphanumerals, 20-digit alphanumerals. Now we can add the details of the account. That is your payment details with the account number, IFSC code, and the payee name. Payee name is always IEEE, and the IFSC code is also same. Before, when it was a Corporation Bank, the same IFSC code of the Corporation Bank Bangalore. And when now it is Union Bank, the same Union Bank code we are using. So the thing varying is the account number. For each payment, you are having a separate account number. So each person, you are having a separate account number. So with this facility, if I am having a mobile application in bank's mobile application in my mobile, it is easy to transfer that membership dues to this account. I need not go to bank. Now I am transferring the amount, the membership dues in Indian rupees to the specified account, specified to the account number and the IFSC code, the specified details in the challan. Directly, I do have the easiness of direct payment of my membership dues, even with a debit card. And this in 2 days, our membership is normally getting activated. So this is a most and the happiest joy of taking the membership or paying the membership dues, and that change. And similarly, compared to 1980s or 1990s or 2000. Now, I remember the thing in 1997. I went to Saudi I took leave for 5 years and went to Saudi as a design engineer, from teaching to design. At that time, we are having sending letters to home through either post office or through our friends going to home on their vacations, or we are calling using the booths in 1997. No mobile phone. It was taking too much of effort. We were going early morning to get some 40% discount on the tariffs, 8 reals per minute at that time. So from that, waiting in queue and getting the concerned people and talking to them, that was the technology at that time. Now no booth is seen anywhere in Kerala, or maybe few, very little. The development of mobile and mobile applications and the features of mobile phones, etc. That is the advancement of technology over the years is the best of the thing that I can share with you with my IEEE experience. Is it clear?
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
A last question. What
Yes.
are some opportunities in IEEE that you believe students often fail to notice?
Pardon?
What are some opportunities in IEEE that students often fail to notice?
Yeah, actually, the thing is, when we became a member of IEEE, they ask a question. Are you willing to get mails from IEEE? We tick yes. And we are getting mail, enormous mails from IEEE. From IEEE as well as from our sections, from our fellow IEEEans and so on. And normally the trend is, the IEEE mails are ignored by say 80%, 90% of the members, most of the IEEE members. And what happens is some key mails or important mails also comes in between. This also miss, and I had also a bad experience of missing a mail. I received a mail it went unnoticed. It was in 2019. Okay, unnoticed. So after and that mail was actually specifying and that I have to apply for something in 2-3 days. They didn't give enough time also. So because of the rush, that mail went down. Okay. So what happened is I missed an opportunity or I missed something great in that because of unnoticement of that mail. It was also an IEEE mail. So similarly, all the IEEE members, when we are not noticing the content of the mail, we may miss great opportunities in IEEE. That is for giving application to good volunteering positions to IEEE or giving proposals to our projects or things like that. So the volunteering experience in IEEE is actually a work to all IEEE members. And I will tell you one example, that is the example of Akshay Krishnan. He was the chair of College of Engineering, Karunapalli. And no, in 2018, by September something, I was the chair of IEEE PLS joint chapter. Then we called for student volunteers for the joint chapter to support the joint chapter activities. Then Akshay Krishnan was selected as the webmaster, and we were not having any website before for the joint chapter. And we monitored and we made the website with up-to-date information, and it was giving a very nice look. Then our performance was very good, membership gone, and we got the most happening award for the joint chapter, and website contest award for the joint chapter, and so many other awards for other IAS chapters also in Kerala section. And so because of the 2 awards, that is the most happening award and this website contest award, 2 persons. And at that time I was in Japan, and so I entrusted Dr. Biju K, the present treasurer, and he was the secretary of IEEE PLS chapter at that time, to attend the function annual general meeting of IAS. And on behalf of the website contest win, Akshay Krishnan was nominated to attend the annual general meeting, and this IAS supported with travel grants. So the opportunities that getting by volunteering is because of your efforts, and then you have to apply for awards. Too many awards calls are there, too many project calls are there. Then you should develop a culture of noticing or reading the mails. Minimum requirement, just open it and see whether it is having any content relevant to me, and if it is there, then you go through thoroughly and do the thing that is required at that point of time. That actually, and no, when you work as a volunteer, you can work independently, you can work in groups. These are all helping you in your professional career in getting good placement also. And this Akshay Krishnan, then he was the webmaster of our prestigious international conference, that was the PESGRE Power Electronics, Smart Grid and Renewable Energy, conducted in Lee Meridian in 2020 January 2, 3, 4. And he was again the webmaster of APEX, that is a Power and Energy Society IEEE International Conference. It is to be held in November. So because of the active activities he had with IEEE, and he organized the first student-led international conference also at College of Engineering, Karnataka, the first in India, a student-led international conference approved by IAS, Industry Application Society. So he was the lead person there. Now he got a very good employment in Technopark with very high package. Okay, so the volunteering in IEEE really helps your professional career if you are a real volunteer. You know, I am not telling that you make your studies second. I will never say that make your studies second. Make your studies the first priority, and give time for your IEEE activities as a volunteer as the second activity. That is no, otherwise the 24-hour will go anyway. And if you're taking some 3 to 4 hours for your studies, you do it for that. You keep that time for that studies. Maybe 1 or 2 days you can have some changes depending on the urgency. Otherwise, you do the study time, you do for your studies, and the remaining spare time, we know, all of us will have enough spare time. And in that spare time, if you work really for IEEE as a volunteer in different level categories, then it will be going to help your future, your professional career, etc., etc. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So that concludes the interactive session. Qasim sir, we would like to present you a gift of appreciation as a symbol of our gratitude for the valuable time you spent with us and this insightful session.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Now I request everyone to turn on the cameras for a photo to commemorate this event.
Participants, if you could also turn your cameras now, could have a quick picture. I'm seeing a few tiles coming up. Come on, guys, let's fill the tiles. Okay, so here we go. We count 3, 2, 1, and then I say IEEE. 3, 2, 1, IEEE. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you all, and thank you for attending. And I think it's of a useful.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for turning on your cameras.
Yeah.
Now I would like to start the vote of thanks. I find this as my honor and privilege to do the vote of thanks. Thank you so much, Qasim sir, for taking this wonderful, informative session. The session took us through the journey of IEEE and a deep dive into its history. Once again, thank you, sir, for your time. I thank all the dignitaries too who joined this event. Also, thank you so much to all the vibrant volunteers who worked hard for this event to be a success. At last, but not the least, I thank all the participants who joined this session. I hope you make the most out of the information you found through this session. In case I missed someone, I am really sorry about that. Once again, thank you all for your participation. Participants, please note that we will be posting the feedback form in the chat box. Do ensure you fill it now. The session has ended. You can leave the meeting now.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.